Hey guys, Everett, welcome back to the channel today. Well, today on the old Beshagginwagon here, I'm going to replace these seals around these. They refer to them as quarter windows, these big back side glasses here. Pretty rugged shape. If you would, how about coming on in here and taking a look? Look at what we've got to work with today. Might be a little hard to tell because the chrome has definitely gone other than on the edges, but you've got a chrome locking strip that goes in the recess of the actual seal itself, and the seal has, well, there you go for a dramatic effect. But yeah, the seal is shot. So that's the goal for the day, is to at least get this one window replaced. What I'm going to be replacing it with is a new one-piece seal from Precision Rubber Products. Perhaps you all seen them. They're a big supplier. Most of the I got these from Summit, and but all of the major auto or restoration stores online, what have you, carry them. So, but in order to do this, to do it safely and hopefully not break this window, because I've not specifically searched for them, but I have not seen that many. So the last thing I want to do is for this thing to get broken. So with that said, I've got a special assistant today that I'll introduce you here in just a second to give me a hand getting this window out, get the new seal in, get the new put the window back in, install this locking strip, and have a brand new seal in here. So I'll take a minute here to get reset up, and we'll be back with my special assistant. All right, about ready to get started on this thing here. So I'd like to ask my special assistant if he'd mind stepping on in here. Introduce you. Fortunate enough today to have my oldest son, Chris, in. So, Chris, say hey to the guys there. Hello. So what we're going to do, first off, is according to the instructions, I know you probably should throw these away or maybe read them after the fact, but let's at least go through the motions here. Clean glass thoroughly. Well, last night in preparation to do all this today, Chris and I were kind of experimenting around, and got these suction handles, if you will, good old Harbor Freight stuff here, and we were putting them on there with that glass dirty. Gosh, they did not want to bond at all. So first off, gonna clean the glass, then we'll get those handles on there and get ready and start actually taking this thing out. I contacted Precision there about that locking strip that I mentioned earlier here. I've got a new one of those to go in there. And they said they didn't specifically have one for the Plymouth, but that they had other Mopar enthusiasts tell them that surprisingly the one for the locking strip for like the late 70s Chevy pickups up into the 80s, which I ordered that from them. I've tried it on the bench. It seems like it's going to do very well. So, but I guess we're going to find out here in just a very few minutes. All right. Well, Chris, if you don't mind, come on in here. Get your handle placed there. Tell you what, let's put a little glass cleaner. How's yours feels pretty good? Nah, oh. Golly, we weren't having this much trouble last night. All right. I think I've got mine pretty good. What do you think?
Give it a shot.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and start peeling this locking strip out.
Hang on a second.
Over here in this corner is a little corner cap, if you will. Just a little trim piece. Cover up the ends of that locking strip. So hopefully I can reuse that. Gosh, I tell you, this, I can't get over how hard this stuff is compared to the new. Of course, spending close to 60 years out in the sun out west, it has definitely taken its toll. And judging by the car, I'd say it's probably never seen the inside of a house garage for any length of time, if ever. So, how you feel about your suction cup now?
Well, up until that point, pretty good.
All right, what do you think? Yeah. All right, let's. I'll tell you what. Let's maybe start at the top here. And I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make this easy on ourselves. Let me grab a utility knife. Hang on. Am I gonna have to score that again, or is it going to come out pretty?
Nope. I think it's working. You know what? I'll let you do this one. That way I also have plausible deniability.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, here, let's change positions here for a second. Yeah, I'd say let's continue on here. Golly, that stuff is really in there. I don't think we're going to have to do much on that end down there, are we? That's pretty well already fallen out, hasn't it? I know this is making riveting video here. Perhaps I should have set this up on a time lapse. I really thought this would come out a little easier than what it currently is. Golly. All right. How you looking down there on that end, Chris?
Got just a little bit. Despite the best efforts, it did not want to come off easily, no more than it was.
I don't know if that's some kind of adhesive or perhaps some sort of sealant they used way back there in '64. I'll tell you what, I think to make this, my original thought after having to cut that out was leave this bottom and pull the glass out, but I think it might be to our best interest to go ahead and even maybe cut this bottom. Just as I'm doing this, Chris, if you don't mind, pay close attention, kind of watch the glass, make sure it doesn't want to just pop out. I don't really. Woo! That was right on cue. I don't think our Harbor Freight suction cups are going to be that dependable. Well, I'm going to start up here at the top. Oh, yep, definite movement there, isn't it?
Yep.
I tell you, let's kind of go up with it. All right, let's place this over here on this body shop sawhorse here. All right. Well, guys, there we have it. Got it out. Doesn't it? Well, it appears that they have used some sort of an adhesive back in the day here The instructions doesn't mention anything about it, just mentions to be sure that you get the slit of the new gasket down in there. I'm not going to use any adhesive. Perhaps they just did that on the assembly line, make it a little easier. It's amazing after close to 60 years that adhesive is still pretty tacky. All right, two things. I think off camera here, Chris and I are gonna clean all of this up, front and back. If you pan over to the window, Chris, and don't know how well it's picking up on camera there, but we're gonna have to use a razor blade and get all of that cleaned up, both front and back side of the glass. And we will be back with you folks after we get this glass cleaned up, get the rib on the wagon itself cleaned up, ready to install this new boy. So be back here in just a few minutes. All right, guys. Well, Chris and I have been diligently cleaning for the last roughly an hour and a half, I guess. Chris worked here on the body of the car. He's got that looking in great shape. Got all that. That is some sort of adhesive or sealant that was on there. I worked on the glass, and definitely back in this area here, they had remind me of the old white glazing compound that in old windows you found. It was still actually somewhat pliable. It wasn't an adhesive, but they had definitely used adhesive along there. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to do it. The instructions here says that you don't have to. It just says install the gasket on the body, make sure the corners are aligned properly. Slide the glass into the gasket across the bottom and into the glass groove. Spray the gasket a soapy water solution to help ease the installation. Use a windshield stick, work the gasket over the edge of the glass along the bottom first and up the sides and top last. So I don't know what a window, what was the description there? A windshield stick. I think these plastic trim removal tools should do the job. So what we're going to do, I will now use the trusty brake clean after using a razor blade on the glass, and then we used a little brake clean. It really cleaned this up nicely. So I'm going to stick this gasket in here. Chris, don't mind step in here. Look like I'm fighting an octopus or something. Let's see here. I think we need to flip it one time. How's that looking?
Yeah, looks good.
And we'll just make sure and get the seal down in the appropriate spot. Beginning to see perhaps why they may have used some adhesive on this. This top one doesn't seem to me to be snapping in there as nicely as that bottom. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, seems a little loose.
Yeah, I don't know. We may have to. I think I've got some It's got to be the right way, I think, don't you? That top sure doesn't seem to want to cooperate.
Is there a left and right one to these?
Oh, yeah, there is.
Not to call you out, I think you might have the wrong side.
Oh, well, step right around the corner there, and
Because I think
the other one is hanging up.
Because isn't that the trim channel?
Oh. I believe you may be right, Chris.
Should we put that on the blooper reel?
No. I would like to say I staged that, again, for dramatic effect, but no, that was my ignorance there. So, well, now here's that locking strip that goes on the outside. So, now if it doesn't fit properly this time, I don't know what we can use for an excuse other than operator error, perhaps. What's your end looking like, Chris?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get it into the groove here.
Now then, we don't have that on top hitting us in the face. Let's see if we can, you try to pull to your corner and I'll try to pull to my corner. And I believe it's looking better, don't you?
Yep.
I'm also, as I'm pulling this way, I'm also trying to pull it up because how's yours looking towards the top? It's like on my end, the top needs to go on up towards the top of the car. How's yours looking?
Similar.
I'll tell you what then, let's see if we can continue to massage the bottom towards the ends. Well, guys, apologize for that abrupt ending to part one there of the installation of this quarter window side glass. The video went much longer than I had anticipated, and I believe it's just too long for one video. Hopefully you've enjoyed what my son and I have accomplished so far, and perhaps I'm showing too much in it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I don't know if you're like me. I get tired of watching them wash cars or spend 10 minutes showing a guy with a grinder and sparks flying and all that. I get that, but I just want to stress and get across to everybody that might be contemplating doing something like this, how much time's involved in it, and it's not as easy as some of these videos appear on some things. Of course, those people probably know what they're doing. So appreciate you hanging in there. Remember, like and subscribe. And if you like this part of it, hit that part 2 button and we'll get this thing finished up. Take care.